So more often than not, while dealing with first-time sellers, Dr. Datta, we see a valuation mismatch happening, right? And I think it boils down to the sellers not being aware as to how a valuation exercise happens.
Valuation, forget the buyer-seller, perspective of looking at a business. At the end of the day, for any deal to happen, there has to be a willing buyer and a willing seller to agree on a valuation, agree on a number, either of them, that yes, this is the value for which we can do a transaction and let's shake hands. But every valuation also will have to follow certain methodology, because at the end of the day, when you are talking about a methodology, it nothing but replicates the common sense in trying to assess what the true worth of a business is, right?
Right.
So in valuations, ideally, you typically if it's a situation where it's a growth, the type of industry or the health the space where we are working in, uh, touch wood, thank goodness, there has not been any sickness setting in as such. But primarily, this is a growth sector, and therefore the valuations basically for any deals would depend upon what the future beholds, right?
Right.
So it's in a loss-making situation in the old economy sectors when you value targets and do transactions. Primarily, you may also look at targets which have losses, accumulated losses, rundown business units, and therefore the valuation there is more on the asset side, and you're not looking at the future valuation. Coming back to our healthcare industry and being focused, our valuation primarily has to be based on the cash flow potential of the business. So when you talk about the potential of the business, it does have a connection in the present as well as in the history of the organization, right?
Right.
The investments that they put in, their market reputation, their market shares, right? The promoters' quality of management. So all these gets basically translated in money's worth. They are getting monetized in terms of last 2 years' profitability. And assuming that the business plan grows with certain corrections, and in assuming what their market shares would be and the macroeconomic fundamentals, because that's a major challenge now, right? Okay.
Right.
You come to a valuation perspective in terms of the future cash flows that are projected for the next 3 to 5 years.
Right.
So the entire game of valuation is to use scarce capital. Therefore, the cost of capital has to be factored in discounting the future cash flow. See, the long and short of it, valuation is not an exact science, but it's fairly objective. And what is very important is that both buyers and sellers, when both of them are equally carried away in terms of what their perception of the business is in terms of value, a methodology, a generally accepted methodology of valuation, helps to give a semblance of order in a deal space, right? So certain rules have to be followed by either parties to arrive at and validate what valuation or what value at which the transaction will progress, and they are willing to shake hands and go forward. So that's the bottom line.
No, I think that's a very concise and apt explanation, Dr. Datta. A lot of times I've noticed that while dealing with hospital owners, they come across and they tend to believe that their valuation is somehow equal to the business value plus real estate value. Essentially, we all know that the real estate value is just a subset of the total valuation, but somehow hospital owners think otherwise. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Let me tell you, Danish. Let me first try and give you an example, a very common example, a real life example with which we all can relate. Suppose a person or we have been putting up in our paternal property or ancestral property for years, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and we are earning, we are building value, we are serving society, whatever our trade, profession, calling is. Now, our net worth would be basically in terms of what footprints we have digitized, realized in terms of money's worth in the marketplace or whatever services we do, business, profession, whatever it is. But we tend to forget that the advantage in the marketplace that we have vis-a-vis other professionals is the ancestral, the ancestral subsidy, if I may put it, the ancestral support that we have in terms of location, in terms of accommodation, in terms of the physical infrastructure that we get in. Right. So we tend to not to factor that in. So also in the case of a business which you have grown, a homegrown business, a doctor who's worked for his life and in coming up with a hospital, the building and the structures which some money has been put in is being thought separately. And therefore the profitability which is coming over is because of his expertise. That's the way he thinks. Because of the footfall, the patronage, the custom that he is able to build in, the reputation that has grown in the marketplace. And he thinks that the valuation is basically the valuation for the business derived from the cash flows plus the assets, which is over and above. But that is not the situation. The fact that he's got custom, the fact that he has comparative advantages is because of the physical infrastructure, and therefore it sits in the entire valuation outlier. It cannot be beyond. Entire business value of any enterprise is just not the fixed assets and the plant and equipment, the future potential in terms of discounting the future cash flows, plus the premium that you enjoy by a superior brand valuation in the marketplace. So they are not like that,
Right.
So the valuation of Coca-Cola, it includes the valuation of the brand Coca-Cola.
Right.
It is not something beyond, So that's the bottom line.